Minister of Health Yolanda Aweldeng briefed President Kiir on precautionary measures to prevent the spread of Ebola into the country following the outbreak of the disease in neighboring Uganda. Minister Yolanda said South Sudan has not confirmed any case of Ebola virus so far.
I came today to brief the President in regard to the Ebola virus situation in the country. At the moment, we don't have any confirmed cases in the country. We have got suspected cases in the isolation at the border, and those cases, most of them are in stable condition. We have collected the samples and we have sent them to be analyzed, and we are still waiting for the results. Our preparedness level is actually top-notch because we activated Ebola virus disease protocol of 2018-2020 before the coronavirus, and those pillars are actually operational at the moment. We have got a rapid response team on the ground. If we have got a case in any area that is not accessible by road, we can airlift, like the team with a container that could actually go and isolate person. So the message to the public is this: there's nothing to fear about. And you need to know, if you panic, you will end up making a lot of mistakes, and you could actually, get yourself injured in the process. Ebola virus is a disease that is very, very fatal, but if you follow the protocol, the hand-washing protocol, the no contact with somebody that is suspected. For example, Ebola virus is passed on through body fluids like blood, feces, urine, sweat, and maybe like water that somebody that is infected has actually used. So if you follow those protocols, you will be safe. And if you see any suspected case in the country or nearby you, report it to the health facility. And you could use the old number that we have, the 6666. Sita. You call that number and a healthcare personnel will actually respond. We have got qualified team on the ground nearby you, and South Sudan Ministry of Health will be able to answer any question. When I briefed the President, I also briefed the President in regard to the gaps and the challenges that the ministry is experiencing, in getting ready or in combating, Ebola. The President has actually promised, to convene extraordinary Council of Ministers to be able to discuss this, and then some funds, further fund will be approved. We already have got $500,000 that was approved by the cabinet. That $500,000 was already used, to combat it. So citizens need to know that the government is doing all that it can take, plus the partners to actually be ready and to be prepared.
President Kiir and Mundri traditional leaders, led by Joseph Ngere Pacheco, discuss road infrastructure and the need to invest in agriculture in the area. Ngere Pacheco said they also briefed the president on the challenges facing their community and the security along Lanya-Jambo Road. The president called on traditional leaders to work with the government to deliver services to the rural areas.
Leading the delegation of chiefs from Greater Mundri, the chiefs from Yeri to Jambo. They came to consult the president on the issues affecting the community, but particularly they were very happy because of the road infrastructure development going on here, and they came to thank the president and encourage him and bringing information from the community to encourage him to continue with the infrastructure development. The resources, particularly for the construction of roads, like sand, the maram, and so on, is free because this road goes to them because it's bringing development. And with the road, many other things will take place. There will be services, health, schools, and the water services will be going on, sanitation. The other thing the chiefs discussed with the president is the issue of agriculture. And agriculture, particularly investment in agriculture, because now, the food that we are eating is coming from outside. And we don't know how it is getting into our body. as the saying goes, the human being is the food that the person eats. So there are a lot of areas, since the road is going, the road infrastructure going, there will be enough land for investment in agriculture, so that, by the end of the day, we eat what we produce.
Deputy Governor Ayong Aware Lwal briefed Vice President Dr. James Wani Iga on the general security situation in Upper Nile State. Speaking to SSBC, Aware said 3 counties have been affected by floods and called on humanitarian organizations to support the flood-affected persons in the country.
الخدمة نقدم له يوم ما يشعر إنه فعلا نلقى نعمل حاجة له شامل نعتقد إنه وضع هيكون كويس من المنى إنه جنوب السودان لأنه مستقبلين المدى فترة 2 ده بنشوف كان حاجة صغير وحاجة كبير بعد ما كبير لو ما يشغلنا وما تحنا بنعمل خدمات للمواطن بتاعنا أنا متأكد لو قدمنا من الخدمات من المواطن هيكون معنا ويجيب معنا كل شيء بأحسن. شيء ثاني وممكن أعتقد إنه ممكن ظروف أمنية يكون كويس فوق لتقريب الدفاعات الجلسة بقي أهم التقريب فوق تمام وكمان احتمال كبير في الأيام الجاية إنه يحصل تقريب داخل الولاية العلمية ولو تم أنا متأكد إن الجانب الأمنية هيكون في.
Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services Michael McQuailweth and the Indian Ambassador to South Sudan Vishnu Kumar Sharma discussed strengthening cooperation in information technology and e-services. The meeting also discussed the recently concluded ITU conference in Romania. In a statement to SSBC, the ministry's Undersecretary Dr. Yath Awan said they also discussed online education and online medical consultation. Ambassador Vishnu said the government is committed to continue supporting South Sudan.
Really was inquiring and actually wanted to seek the support in the International Telecom Union Council. That support, he was told that this support has already been provided. We concentrated on the issues that are concerned with the technical cooperation, projects of education through online, but also medical consultation through online. Many people go to India seeking medical treatment, and if there is consultation that takes place before trips are carried out, then a good number of people will know that their condition does not really necessitate going, or those who have no means will be able to know the nature of what is wrong with them here, and perhaps also seek medication here locally.
We discussed issues related to cooperation that are feasible between the two countries, including the training, tele-education, tele-medical consultation, and also visits of experts to build capacity in South Sudan, which is a new country, and capacity building has been India's focus. We are also looking into further cooperation to strengthen the ICT capacity along with other UN agencies. I also had sought Ministry of ICT support for India's candidature in ITU, and I am thankful that the Honorable Minister confirmed that South Sudan is supporting India in.
In a related development, a company known as Vobis Solution has expressed interest to connect South Sudan with communication network. The company headed by Wendell Andy met with National Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services Michael McQuailweth in Juba on Monday. In a statement to SSBC, the ministry's Undersecretary for Telecom Sector, Dr. Ladu Wani Kenyi, said the proposed project would be studied by a technical committee for further deliberation. Dr. Wani said the ministry is committed to cooperate with the company to attain the expected objectives. The company's official in charge of the finance and strategy, said they are capable of delivering quality service to the people of South Sudan.
Bobby's is a company that is already working in Ghana and control almost 80% of the connectivity in Ghana. And also it's working in Nigeria and has got partnership with a lot of international companies. The most also important thing is that whatever investment they are going to do here is at no cost totally to the government. So, and this is what we are looking for. It's an open kind of access solution which will improve connectivity in South Sudan and then also will make the affordability issue also there. It's coming a competition. The internet prices will go down. So most of the people who wanted to be connected, they will be connected. Actually, they are complementing each other because even in this project of the World Bank, we are looking for private sector partners. And this is one of the partners that could be also working together in this World Bank project.
What we seek to do as a private business, an African brand, is to see how we could work with the government of the Republic of South Sudan to increase internet penetration, reducing the cost of internet, and also enabling government business. And we believe that when internet is increased, then there will be more industrialization. Our students will be comparable to the best in the world. So we believe that this model helps government not to invest in loan to build critical social infrastructure, but through our unique business model, enable government to accelerate social adoption of internet without necessarily increasing the desktop.
The Minister of Interior Mahmoud Solomon Agok and the Turkish ambassador to South Sudan, Erdem Mutaf, discussed bilateral relations between the two countries. Speaking to SSBC, Ambassador Mutaf said they also discussed Turkish support to the peace process.
We discussed a number of issues of bilateral and global nature, as well as Interpol. We talked about the peace process in South Sudan, and I assured him about Turkey's support to revitalize peace agreement in the
Ministry of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism and the European Union mission have agreed to form a technical committee to identify areas of oppression and cooperation between the two institutions. This was disclosed during a meeting between the Minister Rizik Zakaria Hassan and EU delegation led by Rodenas Rodriguez Adela in Juba on Monday. The EU official said they also discussed animal migrations between South Sudan and Ethiopia.
And in fact, we are been seeking their technical support as well as joint cooperations in the multiple conservation aspects. And we have resolved into forming a small technical body which will soon identify the relevant areas of the possible cooperation that we would be picking for solidifying and consolidation our partnership.
We discussed a number of priorities related to wildlife conservation, biodiversity protection in South Sudan. These are priorities for the European Union at the global level, and we are looking forward to working closely. And we have also discussed about a project that could start in the Boma National Park. It's actually a transboundary project, also involving Ethiopia, and we are working on the details to make this project concrete and to speak.
The Minister of Culture, Museum and National Heritage, Dr. Nadia Robdudi, returned to Juba after participating in a UNESCO conference on renewal of sustainable culture in Mexico. Speaking to SSBC upon arrival, Dr. Nadia said the conference approved a number of issues, including the development of cultural policy. Dr. Nadia said more than 150 countries have participated in the conference.
Pass our national policy for culture, and this conference is very important for us as a new country that wanted to preserve and protect its cultures in different areas of our diversity. We discussed many, more than 5 thematic areas about the cultural policy. One is about renewal and strengthen the cultural policies. And the second is about culture and climate change and the future of creative economy. And we discussed also culture as a sustainable development. These are the areas that we discussed. And finally, we came up with a declaration as a ministers that will be implemented by the state parties accordingly to strengthen and renewal of cultural.
We take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more news shortly. Don't go too far.
South Sudan is faced with a national disaster. As a result of climate change, the country is flooded. The whole country is flooded. Many families are living in a vulnerable situation. We call on all those who could extend a helping hand to do so. We are calling on the NGOs, the UN agencies, the civil society, and good-hearted South Sudanese to extend a helping hand to those families, the vulnerable one that has been hit by floods. We keep moving from one place to the other, but they find no hiding place. Of course, they need a place to lay their head down. Floods has affected the entire country. Climate change is a reality.
Minister of Health briefs President Kiir on precautionary measures to prevent the spread of Ebola. Vobis Solution Company expresses interest to connect South Sudan with communication technology. Fire destroys more than 100 shops in Pibor. Welcome back. Moving on, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Dr. Albino Boldiu, and USAID Country Director Catherine Kate discuss youth empowerment. In a statement to SSBC, Dr. Boldiu said the meeting focused on engaging the youth with microfinance programs.
Briefed her on how best we think that USAID can support the young people who are actually the fundamental people who will develop this country and take it forward. The young people of South Sudan are suffering from poverty and illiteracy. And for us to eradicate all these, we need to engage them in youth activities like microfinancing program, of which I believe the USAID has actually a good program on this, because they have been exhausting millions and millions of dollars in the past in these microfinancing issues.
We've discussed and debated the importance of youth activities and giving youth possibilities as this is the future of South Sudan. The American people have been long partners with South Sudan, and we remain very committed to the people of South Sudan. So we look forward to working together with the minister, his team, and other partners to really help build opportunities and livelihood education for youth.
Government Chief Whip Rebecca Joshua Kwachi, who is the chairperson of the SPLM caucus in the National Parliament, congratulates South Sudanese legislators elected to the East African Legislative Assembly for winning the trust of the party. Rebecca described the election as free, fair, and transparent. She spoke during a meeting with the legislators on Monday. On behalf of the legislators, Guy Deng Nial, thanked SPLM party for the trust bestowed upon them. Guy called on the youth to participate in the next election to represent South Sudan in the regional bloc.
Take this opportunity and congratulate the 5 members of the SPLM for the victory to Iyala. And I also want to thank SPLM members for voting for their members. They told the line of the party and the discipline of the party, and they voted very well. I also want to thank our leadership, starting for His Excellency Salva-Kiir Mayardit, the chairman of the SPLM, and his deputy, Comrade James Waniga, the Secretary General, Peter Lambos, and all members of the Secretariat who help us to organize the activity.
I think this is a testimony to how our democracy really has matured. I first, of course, thank the leadership for giving me the honor to be represented by my party. And I think we owe a great gratitude to all the leadership, the executive, the legislators who actually did a tremendous job ahead of us to ensure that we deliver on our pledges to the people of South Sudan. And I think we collaboratively with our colleagues, with my colleagues, we intend to.
A 2-day SPLM Liberation Council meeting concluded in northern Bahr el Ghazal state. In his closing remarks, Governor Tonga Ken Ngor thanked President Kiir, who is also the party's chairperson, in his tireless effort to ensure lasting peace prevails in the country. Victor Elias has more.
Northern Bahr el Ghazal State SPLM Liberation Council endorsed 12 resolutions in the 2-day first ordinary sitting. Addressing the closing session, Governor Tonga Ken Ngor appreciated President and the SPLM chairperson Salva-Kiir Mayardit for his tireless efforts to make sure that South Sudanese attains everlasting peace and stability.
والغاية هو أن يسجل حركة شعبية في شمال بحر الغزال أكبر عدد من قوية القوم. ودي حدث حقيقة. عايز أقول إنه أتأهل أمامه بإنه التوصيات والقرارات الذي صدر من هذا الاجتماع سيكون كأيدي أمينة.
The State SPLM Interim Secretary General, Stephen Ayaga, valued the efforts of the State SPLM Interim Chairperson for organizing the event.
بتاع أعلى جسم للحركة الشعبية في الولاية هو من تذكارين نوال 50 موضوع والذي حضروا 42 موضوع.
A member of the SPLM Liberation Council, John Aganj, said the sitting focused on the challenges to the party and the way forward.
During our deliberation, we have discussed a lot the issue which face our party and how we can address the challenges and chart the way forward, how to come together as a one party, as a members of the SPLM political party in the northern Bahr el Ghazal.
Another member of the SPLM State Interim Liberation Council, Vicky Nyanut, said the meeting discussed peace and unity within the party to steer the implementation of the peace accord.
نحن هنا في ولاية شمال بحر الغزال بنعمل من أجل السلام وبنعمل من أجل الوحدة الحزبي إنه الحزب بتاعنا تتوحد تحت راي واحد عشان نحن ننفذ السلام المطلوب في الاتفاقية.
The first ordinary sitting recommended the nomination of President Salva-Kiir Mayardit as the official candidate for the 2024 general elections. Victor Elias for SSBC News.
Fire has destroyed more than 100 shops in Pibor Market. The Chief Administrator, Lokole Ame Bulen, visited the market on Sunday to assess the damage.
ونينا كان مسلمين ومسيحيين ومؤمنين بربنا حاجة حاصل ما حاصل ساكت ربنا عنده برنامجه وريس الراياون وانا نشكركم شعب بتاع قرية بيجبور بمواقف ايتم وقفته زول ما عنده حاجاته وعنده كله وقفته وتعرفوا دايما بطبيعنا بتاع مرلي حاجة حاصل بدون قصد حاجة حاصل زي ده ما في زول يقول زول اللي كان وارك عندي كان دين بتاعي ماو عشان لازم يدفع في فرق بين حاجات سرقوا بالحاجات كده ده يسمونه
Abyei Administrative Area, chaired by Chief Administrator Kwal DM Kwal, endorsed the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget. In a statement to SSBC, the area's Minister of Finance and Planning, Malony Tongor, said the budget, at a tune of more than 3 billion South Sudanese pounds, will cover salaries and developmental projects.
Extra Bureau meeting number 5. The Council of Ministers of the Area Administrative has passed the budget of 2022-2023 after thorough discussion with little observations. And today, the Council unanimously has passed the budget of the area. Thank you.
The spokesperson for the District Administrative Area and the Council of Administrators of Council of Ministers have approved today, this morning, the annual fiscal budget for the area for 22-23. The total budget approved is 3 billion 788 millions 869 and 65 South Sudanese pounds. This budget will cover the normal 3 chapters of the budget, the service, which is almost around 20%, the operation cost, which is almost also around 25%, and the rest of 50% is for the capital.
Lake State has launched the SPLM membership registration campaign in Rumbek East County. Addressing the occasion, the State Minister of Finance and Investment, Majok Anyem Dal, called on the youth to maintain peace and stability. Rumbek East County SPLM Interim Secretary Peter Gwen Madit said the campaign will be carried out in 6 payams.
SPLM, Payam Assistant Secretaries, Buma Secretaries in Malangok. So the position of the government of Lake State under leadership of Gerald Rinpeny Mabor, so together with our ships in Malangok, Piachuk, and Pachung, the 3 paramount ships, they are working day and night to make sure there is nothing that is going to happen from their use. So we are vigilant at the government of the state. So those songs, as I said, they are minor because the individual who have composed the negative song against each other, they are going to be apprehended and put into the custody, that is in the police custody, for investigation.
And swearing in of assistant secretaries, Payams and Boma secretaries. SPLM has embarked on mass mobilizations from grassroots, and that's why we are here today. As a county interim SPLM secretary, I'm much pleased by the turn-up and the activeness of youth, especially in participations in the SPLM launching and registrations, plus their participations voluntarily. So SPLM is ready and we are moving on because we have started some days back from the other side of Rumbek North, Rumbek East, which is Paloj and Akut. We have completed this exercise and today we are here in Malangagok.
Maban Development Committee has donated food items to the flood-affected people in Maban County of Upper Nile State. The committee's chairperson said they are mobilizing funds to support the affected population. Victor Elias has more.
The Maban Community Development Committee has donated about 200 bags of sorghum and 4,000 bags of flour to the flood-affected persons in Maban County of Upper Nile State. Speaking to SSBC, the chairperson of the committee, Andrea Maya, said they are working to provide more relief assistance to the flood-affected population.
حاولنا إسامة نوفر يعني جزء من المساعدات بيمثل في المشمات. الشهر ده برضو ان احنا يعني لا زال على حسب مقدر بتاعتنا ان احنا قدرنا نوفر جزء من المواد الغذائي بتمثل برضو دقيق او دقيق الفيني.
The executive director of Maban County, Mohamed Kidir, said most of the roads connecting Maban with its neighbors have been destroyed by floods.
السيل ده من ما يتولدنا هنا ما جانا بشكل اللي هنا فوق هسه، يمكن جاء 17 مرة، و17 مرة ده حصل أضرار كثير جدا. في مناطق هنا في مقاطع هنا انهارت شديد جدا، يعني كل البيوت ده انهارت. عشان كده حقيقة نحن انعزلنا، نحن كمقاطعة Maban انعزلنا من كل جيراننا. نحن عندنا جارنا هنا مقاطعة ملوط، كل المواد كان بيجينا من تجارة ملوط، الآن انقطعنا من ملوط.
Speaking on behalf of the women, Jato Ado appealed to the state and national governments to support them with relief assistance.
رسالتي للناس الحكومة، دور الحكومة شنو؟ أن إحنا المواد من عام 2019 مواد شايلنا، ولا منظمات يعني بيجيبوا مشمعات للناس ولا غذاءات للناس. وحكومة دور شنو؟ دور شنو بأنه أن إحنا عسى تعبانين، أن إحنا بقينا مقطوعين، بقينا محجورين محل واحد، ولا شارع الرنگ ولا دور القريب.
A community leader, Mansour Mustafa, also spoke to SSBC.
الطلب بتاعنا كإدارات الأهلية لكمال مابان، فنحن نترجى منكم كحكومة ولاية في الموسم الجاي بعد الشتاء، نحن نترجى منكم تتنازلوا من النسب بتاعكم اللي قاعدين تشيلوا من مابان، قال النسب ده يمشي بشغل الشارع. خلينا عشان ينقص حياة بتاع المواطنين في المدينة البوي.
The Maban Community Development Committee is a community-based institution formed in 2020 to follow a percentage of oil revenue meant for community development. Victor Elias for SSBC News, Juba.
The authorities of Juba City Council have inspected Haithora Bridge along Juba University, where a vehicle got stuck following Monday's morning heavy downpours. Speaking to SSBC, the Deputy Mayor for Administration and Finance, Frederick Nyakun, said they are working to rehabilitate roads in the city. The Director of Juba Block Council, John Porcino Loro, called on the residents of Juba to avoid littering and keep their surroundings clean, while the Deputy Mayor for Development, Thik Mayardit, also spoke at the event.
ناس كلمة قفلوا كيران وناس كلمة أبنوا بكيران ودرت أبنوا حتى لو بيت بتاعك واقع في كور دليتا جاسا لسلطات المعنية بدليتا بابنوا إنت بيجيبوا لنا كوارث كبير.
So we have to cooperate, and the citizens also have to cooperate so that this bridge can be done, especially Haithora West and Haithora East, because this bridge is connecting all of them.
We have been saying that please don't build where there is stream, because if you build inside, it will cause problem and it will cause the damages into the public, because these are the public people who are moving here, and doing that you will cause millions of people to have problems. What we wanted to do, we wanted to correct things so that our city can be seen like the others.
And that's all we have for you at this hour. Thank you very much for taking your time and tuning to SSBC English News Bulletin with me, Tex Stephen Ugut, wishing you a very good evening.